loves, my name is Jessica and welcome to my channel. If you have not seen my other cult reviews, I will leave a card up there and the link to the playlist down below. Let's jump right on into my thoughts and the review of episode 6, Midwestern Assassin. Overall, what happens in this episode is that Allie and Meadow team up to take down the cult. Essentially, Allie wants to use Meadow as a witness so they can expose Kai and the cult and the murders and everything. We get a backstory of Meadow and Kai and a backstory of Ivy and Kai. I'm just going to jump into the standout scenes. I assume that if you're watching this, you know what happened, so there's going to be spoilers ahead. If you want to talk anything specifically about this episode that I left out or skipped, please leave in the comments below and I will of course talk back to you. The standout scenes of this episode, I feel like I need to address the first scene. This whole past week there was a reveal that the opening of this episode was going to be a massacre shooting and that Ryan Murphy decided to go in and edit everything pretty much so you don't really see it happening. What I thought was lovely is even though they did edit, at the beginning of the episode there was a card that said, you know, following the events of the Vegas shooting, there was editing. If you want to see the full unedited version, go on video on demand. I don't have video on demand, so I have not seen the unedited version. If you want to tell me down below if it was just really kind of more graphic with the violence, feel free, just like tell me what is in the unedited version if you've seen that, because I don't know if I'm going to have access to that. But in my opinion, I feel like how the edited version was, it was very reminiscent of American Horror Story Season 1 when Tate does the school shooting where you hear the gun and you see the bodies fall, but you don't really see any of the blood. You never actually see the people getting shot. And that was just enough for me. Like, weirdly, I do somewhat... I like the psychology behind of when it's like a school shooting for on TV, of course. Just the violence in that, when it's violence like that, if it has a purpose, then, you know, towards the story, then I'm okay with that, of course. Now, I thought because they were kind of hyping it up that it was starting with the massacre, I thought it was literally going to be the clowns in the rally, like just killing a whole bunch of people to continue to initiate fear. But when it was revealed that it was possibly Allie, the protagonist, that shot and killed these people, I don't know how the edited scene looks, because I felt like it was totally enough to like believe it was Allie, and if there was more shown, then is it like, does the unedited version show that it was Meadow doing the shooting? Because then that would kind of ruin the reveal at the end of the episode. And because it was the protagonist or the good going against, you know, the evil, I don't know if it was totally necessary to really edit out the scene, other than the fact of showing sensitivity towards the recent massacre attack in Vegas. I really liked the opening scene, though, how it was shot. I always feel like in these situations overall that less is more. It's more effective when you don't see all the gore and the violence and things like that. So it was very impactful for just leaving how the edited scene like how it was. I did not expect it to like for it to, of course, like hint, we believe like it's Allie that did it, so I didn't expect that. Like I said, I expected it would be like a clown massacre or something like that. Another standout scene for me was that I loved learning more about Meadow, because when Meadow was first introduced, she's just this off-the-wall, offbeat character that's kind of annoying, but I just loved learning more about her. I'm so drawn to learning more about characters and arcs and backstories and just what really makes that character, like, there's more to that character than you are first introduced to. So I love learning more about Meadow. I love learning more about Kai and Meadow. I loved the backstory of Meadow, and then I loved seeing, you know, the reason why Ivy hates Allie. Just that there's more than Jill Stein. It has to do with her endometriosis and the fact that she would have never complained like Allie did when she carried Oz. So badly wanted to carry their own baby. She wanted to be pregnant. She would love every second of it, and Allie's pretty much complaining and bitching the whole time. And on top of it, it's Allie's phobias. And then the last straw was that Allie voted for Jill Stein. So I really appreciated and enjoyed, you know, the reveal as to why Ivy hates Allie so much. But of course, everything's just so extreme in the situation, which is very fitting of how extreme people can act, especially when you look at reality today. And then the standout scene is when the clowns break in to Sally's home, and Kai, being so smart, instead of just like murdering her so it doesn't look sloppy, he goes on her on Sally's Facebook and essentially writes up a suicide note. And I just love the line, and another stab at how our society is today, where Sally is like, no one is going to believe that, and Kai is just like, of course they're going to believe it, it's on Facebook. And then he kills Sally. The ultimate standout scene, and I kind of predicted this in the beginning of the episode and even towards the end of the last episode, is that Meadow didn't really escape. It was all a setup. I loved when it goes back to the scene when they pretend to, well, they kidnap Meadow, they throw her in the closet, and then Kai has a moment alone with her. And ultimate standout scene is when it's revealed that Meadow shoots Kai and shoots others, and then she goes and shoots herself, and Allie's left with the gun. And then it goes back to the closet with Meadow and Kai. Kai releases her and takes on this twist that I kind of predicted, the fact that it was all a setup. Kai told Meadow to go tell Allie everything, that Meadow is Kai's everything, and that she can be the only one to elevate him to the national stage. So what he needs Meadow to do is that he needs to be assassinated, because we're a Christian nation and everyone loves a good resurrection. He, you know, convinces her to tell Allie the truth, because no one's going to believe what a crazy woman will say. And it goes back to, this is going to be our eternal secret, everlasting love, do you understand? And this is why Meadow, she assassinates Kai and ultimately kills herself. We're shown that Allie's being handcuffed, and when Kai is being lifted into the gurney, that he was really just shot in the leg, and he opens his eyes. And so my overall thoughts is that I loved this episode so much. I can't help that I love character development, character reveals. It's always nice for me when it's more than just violence and the gore aspects and everything. My favorite scene probably of the entirety of all the American Horror seasons is Kai telling Meadow that he needs to be assassinated. I really enjoyed this episode. I loved the reveals. I loved the dialogue. It was just I just thought it was a great episode, and I'm really totally liking the season, like, officially, and I can't wait to see what happens in the rest of the season. Overall, I give this episode a 9, because this was my favorite episode so far, right next to the November 11th episode. I loved this episode so much. Let me know your thoughts down below if you liked this episode, or if you disagree with me. Why do you disagree with me? Be nice. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to love others, but first and foremost, always love yourself, because you're beautiful no matter what anyone else says.